Hey there humans, it's your favorite non-canon character, Digital Clock. I've been summoned here to recap the scratch episodes of Battle for $5. So, let's get started. Season 1 was a pretty standard beginning. Nothing interesting really happened until episode 3. Debuters are introduced and are all put onto one team each. Whichever team wins the challenge gets a prize of keeping the debuter. I think that is a pretty solid method of handling debuters. During the challenge, Phone takes tennis ball to a hole in the ground leading to an area known as the control room. Phone uses a code block to remove the lobby and end the challenge early, so the challenge never ends up having a winner for some reason. The following episode, a strange individual named Doodle, who is meant to resemble a scribble, climbs out of the hole that leads to the control room. Doodle then patches up the hole and regrows the grass using some magical paper that will be important later on. For a bit of background information on Doodle, he was a character from 2020 who hosted a competition in comic form with a few characters that are in Battle for $5. Pretty much a total Fiery Island situation. Doodle is upset Q is now hosting with his old contestants, so he tries getting the show back. It ends up with there being a vote to decide who will continue hosting. In episode 5 the votes are revealed and needless to say, Q wins by a long shot. The contestants that stick with Doodle and Doodle himself are removed and sent to a different area a few miles away from the main showgrounds. They then decide to start their own season in the desert. Also Tatertit rejoins for some reason. There are only 9 contestants left now. The challenge is to skip stones in the nearby creek. Black Hole, Robot Emoji, and DVD copy of Morbius win the challenge. That's all that happens. In episode 6 the challenge is to run the fastest across a real small track and literally nothing happens. It's a total snooze fest. But this episode is that last episode of the season because the votes and views were declining, so I decided to go all in on season 2, which was getting way more votes and was much more popular. It was running at the same time as BFFB 5B and 6 by the way. Now on to my personal favorite season, Paper Prize. The episode starts with some minor character interactions and then gets into teams. The challenge is to stack lunch boxes. The team with the tallest stack after 30 minutes would be safe from elimination. Toasty kicks down the other team's stack and causes them to lose. Episode 2 has a standard start, but during the elimination Tater gets a Rubik's Cube. When he turns the cube everything turns 3-dimensional. The challenge is then to complete a 3D obstacle course and pink team loses. In episode 3 the elimination prize is turning grey, and then the animation quality randomly gets worse. The challenge is to shoot people to bring up your animation style or something like that. Phone then goes over to pink team and gets absolutely destroyed and the team keeps it a secret to Tennis Ball. In episode 4, out of guilt, Fireball snitches to Tennis Ball about Phone and Tennis Ball then leaves the team and brings Phone with him. Nuggy notices this and brings back his old BFFB team with the addition of Whitehole. The challenge is then pretty mid and forgettable, so it's not worth covering. The next 2 episodes released in December, so it is snowy all over the place. After the Elimination Cup has no one left, so he moves to the 24s because they are the biggest team. The challenge is to destroy Manchester and pink team completes it with ease. Whitehole then snaps at Tatertit for ordering him around in the challenges and kills him with a pickaxe. Doodle then kicks Whitehole out of the show for being extremely violent, I guess. The 24s end up losing and have to vote someone off. Cup and Nuggy team up against Tatertit for causing Whitehole to lose his mind and the episode ends on a cliffhanger. After episode 5 cliffhanger, Tatertit jumps in the way of Nuggy while a weird robot arm is speeding towards him. It turns out to be the arm of Washing Machine, a contestant of Doodle's previous show, and Chippy, who is a shape-shifting monster who stalks the contestants. They both have a vendetta against Doodle and the contestants. The challenge is to kill or get rid of them. Phone starts glitching after getting turned off by Chippy. Phone then starts floating and shoots a laser at Chippy, creating a massive explosion in the desert. And that's every Paper Prize episode. On to Season 3A, Battle for Dream Island. I get the name might be confusing, but that is because they are battling for a blue text box that says the word Dream Island. Anyway, episode 1 it doesn't have much going on, just team picking and character introductions, which doesn't need to be covered. Alright, this episode is a bit more interesting. Fortnite Gang gets a prize and the League of Robots get the punishment. It's also shown Toasty has connections with someone outside of the competition who may be important later on. The challenge is to get to Old Zealand, a place that will be explored a ton in post-hiatus BFDI. Some stuff also happens with Map, but who cares, he's dead anyway. Now for the last episode ever posted on Scratch. BFDI 2. This episode starts with Map being unable to wake up, and Keyboard was the debuter for this episode. All the contestants who didn't make it last challenge get teleported to Old Zealand, and Geode asks if they want to do a drawing related challenge. Noob agrees and the results are really bad. And that's all the Scratch episodes of BFFB. Hopefully you enjoyed my retelling of what went down back then. Stay tuned for more episodes and generally higher quality stuff.